All right, y'all. Welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode on perfectionist eating. If you find yourself either eating perfect or eating everything, this episode is going to be for you. This is totally spur of the moment, unplanned. I'm a big podcast episode planner. I plan my episodes, I write them all down, I schedule my time to do them. And today I just was eating this lunch and I was thinking how gross it was. I was like, I need to do a podcast episode on perfectionist eating and how to overcome it, how to really overcome it's either like I'm eating perfect or I'm eating everything, that mindset, and move forward. So this is gonna be a quick little episode with some really solid tips to help you move out of that. But first, I did go ahead and make you a freebie as a thank you for listening to my podcast. By the way, my name's Haley Sohn. If I didn't say that, I'm a nutritionist and brain training weight loss coach. And I here on this podcast and in my work with my clients, I focus on losing weight without dieting by retraining your brain and eliminating emotional eating. So that's a lot of what I talk about here. I rarely talk about the diets to follow and the foods to eat and the foods not to eat and the macros and all that. So that said, I created this freebie for you. One thing that you are always telling me that you're struggling with is eating things that you don't actually want to eat. And I've been there, believe me. Like the day is going great, and then there's cookies in the break room, and you're like, bam, ate 5 cookies. Don't know why I did that. Didn't want to do that, but I did it. Or it's like 3 o'clock and you are in that transition from work to becoming a mom. Like you got to go pick up the kids, you got to go do all the things, run around all night, and you're just smashing chips and queso so that you don't have to kind of deal with the stress of your day and like that weird awkward transition. Or you always feel really out of control around foods that are tempting to you. This freebie is for you. You think you're the problem, that you need more willpower or you need to be more strict, you need the right diet, but none of those things actually work. And the proof is that you've tried them all before and they have not worked for you in the past. So this worksheet, this freebie that I made for you, is to help you prepare for the unexpected moments, such as cookies in the break room, but also feel in control during those moments where like those habits that you have never been able to kick, like chips and queso right after work before you pick up the kids, or cook box of cookies on the couch at night, Netflix and chill, kids are in bed, you finally have a minute for yourself and you just keep finding yourself eating even though you also want to lose weight. So it will help with the unexpected moments and also those moments that you know are happening but you've not previously been able to get in control during. So it's at a nice little bit.ly link for you. And that link is bit.ly/craving sheet, 1S craving sheet. And you can go pick that up for yourself. It's really, really helpful. I use this with my paying clients and they see tons of results from this really, really fast. It's a turnaround. And I'm also putting the link in the show notes if you want to go grab it there. So I'm sitting here eating my lunch and I realized, oh my God, because this was so unplanned and unexpected, I didn't silence my phone. We're just living life over here doing podcasts. Okay. So I'm sitting here eating my lunch and I realized that my lunch is kind of gross. I packed it myself, but seriously, not a proud moment. Like I literally just grabbed what I could out of the fridge this morning as I was running out of the house to my office. And for those of you wondering, it's a package of salami and an avocado. Yeah, not, that was kind of gross. So, but it got me thinking about like, I think there was another version of myself that would have been like looking down on me for having that lunch. Like, oh my God, that's not perfect at all. What are you thinking? Where is your XYZ part of this meal? What about the fat content and that salami? What about the macros that you're trying to hit today? What about your fiber count for the day? Like all of the things. And so many of my clients get caught up in that type of thinking. And what really happens is it becomes this all or nothing thinking. And so, what I want you to think about right now is if you are looking to live your life and weigh what you want, which I think most of us are, we want to be able to go out to dinner with friends or go on vacation and just enjoy ourselves, be present with the moment and eat the food, whatever it is, eat what everyone else is eating, and still weigh what we want and not have to be obsessing about the food and counting and thinking about it all the time. If you want that, eating like a perfectionist is not that, and it will not get you there. I think we think like if I only eat like a perfectionist for long enough, then I can all of a sudden weigh what I want, and then I won't have to think about it anymore. It doesn't work like that. Whatever gets you there, whatever gets you to your goal, is what you're going to need to keep doing in order to keep your goal. Okay? Let that sink in for a second. So, you need to cultivate what's going to help you weigh what you want for the rest of your life right now, which is not perfectionist eating. Especially if one of the things that you want is to be able to live your life. Perfectionist eating is not going to get you there. So, perfectionist eating, the real issue with it, other than it's probably just not attainable, is that it has another side to it. And that is, if I can't eat perfectly, I'm going to just eat whatever the F I want. I'm going to eat everything that crosses my plate or sounds good or my eyes land on. That will not help you weigh what you want. So when perfectionism is countered by that, it leads to a lot of mental, I don't want to say mental problems, but like mental disruption. You get really caught up in it, and you're constantly thinking about food. You don't feel in control, and you don't weigh what you want. And I want to say, like, okay, so if perfectionism is a useful tool for helping you lose weight, how often are you actually able to have complete control over your food and eat perfectly? Look at the scale, and that will tell you how often you're able to do that. If you don't weigh what you want, then you're not able to eat perfectly. And no more amount of like, I'm going to follow this diet or I'm going to figure out a way to be more in control is the answer. In order to drop that perfectionist eating and consequently the overeating on the other side, you have to do a couple of things. These three things I teach my clients, I work with them with my clients all the time. This is like the basis of my program. This is a proven program, 30 pounds in 90 days from these three steps. So I'm going to give them to you right now. Number one, making a plan. The point, okay, before you're like, but I'm a perfectionist, like I can make a plan. The point of the plan is not to have you follow it perfectly and be perfect or judge yourself for not following it. This is where a lot of my perfectionist clients like miss out on the point of the plan. The point of the plan is that you're making decisions ahead of time, allowing yourself to plan to be messy. So these perfectionists who are planning to be perfect all of the time, you're planning to be a little bit messy. And what I like to offer to my clients who are in this perfectionist mindset, who are worried about the plan and I'm not going to be able to follow it perfectly, don't make your plan perfect. Your plan is about, number one, utilizing the part of your brain that wants to lose weight to decide your food and how much you're going to eat. Really, it's more about how much you're going to eat and when you're going to eat than what you're going to eat. So it's putting that part of your brain in control and at the forefront when it comes to thinking about your food. And the second piece is about teaching yourself to listen to your body and to start using your body's signals to dictate when you eat and how much you eat instead of it's time to eat. Everybody else is eating, so I'm going to eat. So that's the first piece of the purpose of the plan. And the second piece is you're planning to be messy. So you're saying, for lunch, I don't know what is going on. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what my kids are going to want to do. I am just going to have a protein and a vegetable. That's my plan. Very loose. It's not a salad with chicken and then my kids want to go to a, I don't know, Indian restaurant. This scenario is not likely at all. But you get what I'm saying. Like, I'm going to have a salad with chicken and then wherever I go does not have a salad with chicken. So I just eat the most, like over the top meal that is going to make me feel physically horrible and make the scale go up because I can't have the salad with chicken that I planned. This is like, I'm going to teach myself to let go of that perfectionist by being very loose. It's a protein, it's a vegetable. I'm planning that it could be a little bit messy and I don't need to be perfect. And then you're also planning your indulgences. The other part of this perfectionist thinking is like, I'm never going to ever want to eat a cookie again, but you are. So plan to have one and plan to enjoy it. The goal of the plan isn't to punish yourself if you don't follow it, if you're not perfect, but to show you where your brain is just really wanting to eat so that you can work on that. So this plan it's so ingenious in so many different ways. And I shared a lot of those with you just now. And that segues in if we need to work on when our brain is just really wanting to eat food for no physical reason, that segues into my next tip, which is being able to manage your brain when it just wants to eat. So I teach my clients a breathing technique. It is in for 8 counts, hold for 4, out for 10 counts. When you are really wanting to eat something that isn't going to serve you, you practice this breathing and it really slows everything down. And the beauty of it is that when you are counting your breaths, you're also not thinking about eating cookies. It takes your brain out of that, out of thinking about eating cookies and into thinking about the breathing. And the breathing itself calms your nervous system way down. So a lot of times what happens when we start thinking about eating cookies or whatever the food is, we get really excited. We get super hyped up and everything just like we ramp up that emotional state so high, our nervous system gets really ramped up. And all we can think about is like getting that cookie into our mouth as fast as possible. The breathing takes that all down and it also almost eliminates that emotion of excitement or whatever it is for you in that moment because we aren't thinking about that food anymore. We're counting. So incredibly helpful. And number 3, practice. Practice, practice, practice. Practice not being a perfectionist. Practice letting go and living your life because that's what you ultimately want. Practice letting things be a little bit more loose than you're used to. So instead of a salad with chicken, it's a protein and a vegetable. And that can be any protein or vegetable. I'm going to let go of like, there was no salad and chicken, so I had an ice cream sundae. And just say, I'm going to have something that's going to feel good for my body and honor my body's natural signals of when to fuel and what it wants for fuel, so that that scale is gonna go down. Because every time I can't be perfect, I'm just like picking the opposite of whatever I had thought I was going to be. Okay, so practice, practice, practice becoming this new version of yourself. It is 100% possible. I've done it. I've seen so many of my clients do it. And that's what I got for you today. Okay, go get your freebie. Link is in the show notes. If you can't figure out the bit.ly thing, just click that link. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.